truly need is your own. Silence is one of the most overlooked powers a person can have. But in a world where everyone wants a platform, where people feel the urge to broadcast every thought, every action, every opinion, silence has become uncommon. We live in an age where if people aren't talking about their plans, they think it means nothing is happening. But the truth is, real strength doesn't come from speaking. It comes from doing. It comes from understanding when it's time to talk, and more importantly, when it's time to stay silent. There's something about silence that unsettles people. They confuse it with weakness, with doubt, with lack of self-assurance, but that couldn't be further from reality. Silence is a tactic. Silence is self-control. Silence is the wisdom to know that not everything must be shared. Not every move needs to be public. Not every opinion requires a reply. When you learn how to master your words, you begin to take command of your life. The problem is, people are drawn to noise. They crave drama. They seek attention. And too many end up falling into the trap of thinking they must explain themselves to everyone, prove their worth to people who don't even count, or react to every bit of negativity that comes their way. But let me remind you of something. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You're not required to prove yourself to anybody. The ones who genuinely care will notice your progress without you needing to say a single word. And those who don't, well, they were never really paying attention in the first place. There's a reason why the most accomplished individuals don't waste their time in online arguments. They don't pour energy into convincing people who are determined to misunderstand them. They don't feel the need to announce every move they make because they understand that true success is born in silence. It's formed in those quiet, unnoticed moments when no one's looking, when no one's cheering, when no one even knows what. That's when real growth takes root. Yet some of you are allowing the desire for validation to hold you back. You want others to notice what you're doing. You want recognition for the effort you're putting in. And when you don't get it, self-doubt starts to creep in. But here's the truth. Their validation isn't necessary for you to thrive. You don't have to share every step you're taking just to prove you're moving forward. The effort will speak loudest when the timing is right. Certain things in life deserve to be kept close: your goals, your growth, your dreams. Not everyone should have access to your thoughts, your emotions, or your next steps. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is keep your journey private, because the minute you start revealing your plans, you invite opinions, skepticism, criticism, and distractions. And some of those voices may plant seeds of doubt before you even begin. Have you ever realized that the loudest people are often the ones achieving the least? That's because they spend their energy trying to convince others of their potential instead of proving it through action. But when you choose to move in silence, when you prioritize execution over explanation, you free yourself from that cycle. You stop needing others to believe in you. You stop craving applause. You simply do the work, and when you do it consistently, the results will be so clear that you won't need to say a word. See, when you master the discipline of silence, you become unpredictable. No one knows what you're working on. They can't disrupt your progress. They can't sabotage what they can't see. And that gives you an edge. Silence doesn't mean you're powerless. It doesn't mean you're scared. It means you recognize that talk alone won't lead to success. Action will. It shows you've learned that not every conflict deserves your energy. Not every comment needs a reply. And not every step you take needs to be announced. It means you have enough faith in yourself to believe that what's meant for you will arrive. One of the biggest pitfalls in life is comparison. It creeps in when you least expect it. You could be feeling confident, proud of how far you've come, and then suddenly You notice someone else is moving faster, achieving more, rising higher. And just like that, doubt slips in. You start second-guessing yourself if you're falling behind, if you're not good enough, if you should be doing more. But let me remind you, comparison is a distraction. And if you allow it, it will steal your focus, drain your energy, and rob you of your joy. Here's the truth. No two people walk the same path. You weren't built to live on someone else's timeline. You aren't meant to experience the same victories, the same struggles, or the same turning points as the person beside you. Still, so many waste time sizing themselves up against others instead of concentrating on their own growth. They see another person's success and start to feel like they're falling short. They notice what someone else has, and suddenly what they have no longer feels like enough. But the issue isn't that they're lacking, it's that they're looking the wrong way. When you spend your energy comparing, you take your eyes off your own progress. You stop recognizing how far you've come because you're too distracted by someone else's highlight reel. And let's be honest, people only show you what they want you to see. Social media makes it even harder. You don't see the sleepless nights, the setbacks, the doubts, the quiet battles. You're only seeing the polished result, the best angles, the filtered version, picture of a spiral outcome. And if you judge your behind the scenes by someone else's spotlight, you'll always feel like you're falling short. That's why you have to train your mind to stay locked in on your own journey. It doesn't matter what others are doing. It doesn't matter how quickly they're moving or how impressive their life looks. What matters is that you're growing, that you're making progress, that you're becoming a better version of yourself, one step at a time. Because when all is said and done, the only person you should be measuring yourself against is the one you were yesterday. Some of you are holding yourselves back because your attention is stuck on the wrong things. You're constantly glancing around, wondering who's ahead, who's behind, who's paying attention, but none of that truly matters. What others are doing has nothing to do with your personal journey. Your path is uniquely yours. And the moment you genuinely begin to focus inward, everything starts to shift. You stop feeling pressure to prove your worth. You stop chasing after things simply because someone else has them. You stop living according to someone else's version of success and begin shaping your own. But that requires discipline. It demands that you be thoughtful about how and where you invest your energy. It takes reminding yourself regularly that someone else's win doesn't equal your loss. Life is not a competition. There's no set schedule for success. You're not behind. You're not too late. You are right where you're supposed to be. Think of it this way. When runners are on the track, the moment they glance to the side to see who's catching up, they lose speed, their form falters, their focus breaks. Why? Because they stopped running their own race and started worrying about someone else's. That's exactly what happens when you let comparison take control. Your progress slows. You lose momentum. You begin making decisions based on what others are doing rather than what's truly best for you. But when you stay focused in your lane, when your eyes stay forward and your mind stays clear, you move differently. You stop letting outside noise control your pace. You begin trusting that what's meant for you will arrive at the right time. You begin to realize that success isn't about being first, it's about staying consistent. So today I'm asking you to make a choice to stop looking around and start looking inward. A choice to stop comparing yourself to others and begin comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. Because when the day is done, the only race that truly counts is the one between you and your own potential. And if you can honestly say, I'm better than I was yesterday, then you're already winning. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have. And yet far too many people waste it on things that don't matter. They pour it into arguments that go nowhere, into proving themselves to people who don't genuinely care, into holding on to baggage that should have been released long ago. But once you truly grasp how valuable your energy is, you begin to protect it. You stop hanging it out so freely. You become deliberate about where it flows, who is allowed access to it, and what you let occupy your mind. Not everything is worth your focus. Not every comment needs a reply. Not every situation deserves your involvement. Some of you are feeling drained. Not because you're chasing your goals, but because you're spending too much time caught up in things that don't align with your purpose. You allow small distractions to pull you off course. You let negativity enter your space when it should have been shut out. You engage in conversations that wear you down instead of lifting you up. And then you wonder why you feel stuck, why it seems like you're going in circles. It's not because you lack ability, it's because you're using your energy in all the wrong directions. The truth is, not everyone should have access to you. Just because someone demands your attention doesn't mean you have to offer it. Just because someone questions your decisions doesn't mean you owe them an answer. You don't have to justify the way you choose to live your life. Some matters are better handled quietly. Some conflicts aren't worth your time. Some people exist solely to distract you, to challenge you, to lead you off course. And if you're not mindful, you'll spend more time managing them than building yourself up. There's a clear line between being busy and being effective. Some folks stay constantly occupied, but they're not really progressing. They're wrapped up in the noise, always entangled in drama, always reacting to every little disruption. But when the day ends, they've got nothing meaningful to show. No real movement, no peace, no transformation. That's because they never learned how to guard their energy. They allowed too many things to drain them, and by the time they return to their own ambitions, there's nothing left to give. But everything shifts when you begin choosing more carefully. When you decide where your energy actually belongs. You stop giving time to pointless distractions. You stop letting people drag you into their storms. You stop explaining yourself to those who never truly cared to understand you in the first place. You begin to move differently. You begin to protect your space. And most importantly, you begin to make real, lasting progress. People will always have opinions. They'll always have something to say about your choices, your path, your potential. But their opinions don't shape your truth. Their voices don't set the course of your life. And the moment you truly accept that, you break free. You stop wasting energy trying to change their views. You stop working to prove your value to those who are never listening. You stop handing over your strength to things that don't nurture your growth. Instead, you bring your energy back to where it belongs. On your development, on your healing, on the steps that actually move you forward. You start investing your time into your peace, your purpose. You stop reacting to every little thing and start responding only to what truly matters. You build a kind of discipline that keeps you grounded no matter what chaos is happening around you. And let me tell you something, once you start living that way, people will take notice. At first they may not get it. They may question why you've gone quiet, why you don't argue, why you no longer explain yourself. But eventually they'll see it. They'll see your growth. They'll witness your calm. They'll recognize the results that show up when you stop wasting your energy and begin channeling it with purpose. Belly, from this moment on, I want you to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways it absolutely does. Be deliberate, be thoughtful, and above all, be focused. Because once you master the art of protecting your energy, there's nothing and no one that can stand in the way of the person you're becoming. Many people desire success, but not everyone is willing to remain consistent. They get fired up about a new dream, a new direction, a fresh vision for their life. But once the initial excitement fades, so does their effort. They kick things off with enthusiasm, but the moment the journey gets tough, the moment progress doesn't come as quickly as they hoped, they begin to slow down. They start searching for shortcuts, for quick fixes, for the easy route. But lasting success isn't built through occasional effort. It's created by showing up every single day, even when nobody's watching, even when no one is applauding, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. The ones who truly succeed in life aren't the loudest in the room. They're not the ones making grand announcements or telling the world what they plan to do. They're the quiet workers, the ones who stay committed to the journey even when it gets hard. The ones who show up for themselves every day without needing applause, because they've learned that consistency is the real key. It's not about dramatic leaps. It's about steady, intentional steps repeated over and over again. Still, too many people chase results without putting in the discipline. They want victory without effort. They want the prize without the process. And when things don't unfold quickly enough, they start making excuses. They blame their situation, blame the people around them, blame everything but themselves. But here's the truth. Success doesn't work that way. You can't skip the grind. You can't avoid the effort. You either stay consistent or you stay where you are. Think about it. How many times have you watched someone begin with full energy and drive only to give up a few weeks later? How often have you started something yourself only to let it fade once life got busy? That's the line that separates those who succeed from those who don't. The ones who win don't rely on fleeting motivation. Some of you are sitting on dreams that could completely transform your life, but you're holding back, waiting for the ideal timing, the right feeling, the perfect conditions. You tell yourself you'll begin tomorrow, next week, or when things settle down. But deep down, you already know there's no such thing as the perfect moment. There's only right now. And if you're not willing to be consistent in the present, the future you want will stay out of reach. You have to move quietly. Stop broadcasting every intention, every target, every little step. Stop needing someone's approval before you've even started. Just get to work. Because when you say too much, you leave space for others to insert doubt. You open the door to distractions. You begin seeking permission instead of staying focused on execution. But when you operate in silence, when you stay centered on your goals, no one can derail your progress. Let me tell you something. People will see your outcomes before they ever recognize your effort. That's just how life goes. They won't notice the sleepless nights, the early wake-ups, the sacrifices you've made. They won't see the moments you felt like giving up. But one day, when your results begin to shine, when your consistency finally starts to pay off, they'll be amazed. They'll assume it happened suddenly. They won't understand that it was the quiet effort, the work done behind the scenes that made all the difference. That's why it's so important to remain consistent, even when it feels like no one notices, even when it seems like nobody cares. Because here's the truth, the process will always challenge you before it rewards you. It will demand to know how badly you really want it. It will test your will when walking away would be easier. And if you can remain consistent through the tough days, through the moments when everything feels stuck, through the storms of doubt, then success becomes unavoidable. So whatever you're working on, whatever ambition, whatever dream, stay steady. Keep progressing quietly. Keep showing up even on the hard days, because eventually the effort you're making today will speak volumes and you won't need to say a word. Those people don't realize just how much noise fills their lives every day. Noise from opinions, from distractions, from worry, from meaningless conversations. And if you're not careful, that noise can silence your own inner voice. It can scatter your focus until you forget why you even began. That's why at some point you must turn it all off. You have to consciously block out the clutter, distance yourself from anything or anyone that only slows you down. Because if you don't, you'll spend your entire life reacting instead of building, listening instead of leading, following instead of creating. The truth is, not everyone is supposed to understand your journey. Not everyone will cheer for you. Some won't believe in your potential. Some will doubt you. Some may even try to discourage you, not because they truly care, but because they lack the courage to do what you're doing. When they see you evolving, when they witness you stepping beyond the limits they've settled for, it shakes them, it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to face their own choices. And instead of rising to meet you, they'll try to pull you back down. But that's not your responsibility. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. You don't need anyone's blessing to become the person you were created to be. Some of you are carrying the weight of other people's expectations, their doubts, their fears, and it's holding you back. You're hesitating, overanalyzing, second-guessing yourself because you're too caught up in what others might think. But let me tell you something, their opinions don't matter. They won't be the ones living with the outcome of your choices. You will. And if you spend your life trying to make everyone else comfortable, you'll never step fully into the greatness that belongs to you. That's why it's essential to learn how to move quietly to protect your vision, to stop letting outside opinions steer your path. Because as you begin to rise, so will the distractions. The more you develop, the more people will feel entitled to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. If you give those voices too much space, you'll find yourself adjusting your direction to meet their expectations instead of staying aligned with your purpose. But the people who truly thrive in life, the ones who unlock their fullest potential, they understand something many never grasp. They know that silence holds strength, that self-discipline outweighs applause, and that real focus requires eliminating the unnecessary noise. They understand that success doesn't rely on being validated by others, so they keep pressing on even when no one else sees what they're building. Some of you have dreams so massive they intimidate you. And because they feel overwhelming, you look for reassurance. You want someone to confirm that you're headed the right way. You wait for validation before making your next move. But let me ask you this, if the people around you can't envision what you do, if they don't share your belief, what happens when that approval never comes? Do you give up? Do you shrink your dream to fit their limited outlook? Or do you keep pushing forward even if you're walking alone? You can't afford to pause for validation. You can't afford to slow your pace just because others don't understand your mission yet. You have to be willing to advance even in quiet, even in doubt, even when you're the only one who believes in it, because belief begins with you. No one else will treat your dream seriously until you do. No one will buy into your vision until you fully commit to it first. And the more dependent you are on others for approval, the more unstable your foundation becomes. That's why it's crucial to be mindful of what and who you allow into your mental space. If you surround yourself with people who hesitate, who doubt, who always expect the worst, that energy will start to influence you. But if you choose to be around discipline, around clarity, around the kind of stillness that fosters growth, you'll carry yourself differently. You'll walk with a steady confidence that needs no explanation. At the end of the day, your life is yours to own. Your success, your evolution, your inner peace, it all hinges on the decisions you make. And one of the most powerful decisions you can ever make is to silence the noise. Stop chasing approval and walk with purpose. Because once you do, nothing and no one can hold you back. When it's all said and done, your path belongs only to you. The opinions, the distractions, the comparisons, they don't matter. What matters is your ability to stay focused, to stay grounded, and to keep progressing, even when no one else understands your path. We live in a world full of constant noise, but the people who rise above it are the ones who learn to be quiet, to safeguard their energy, and to keep working behind the scenes until their success becomes undeniable. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need validation to achieve greatness. What you need is consistency, inner strength, and the courage to keep showing up even when the rewards haven't arrived yet. So stop looking outward. Stop trying to explain your journey. Stop waiting for permission. Focus inward. Move with quiet determination. Because when you do, your progress will be undeniable, and one day the world will have no choice but to recognize the person you've become. Reflect on the story of Ruth and Boaz. Ruth didn't pursue romance. She didn't try to push her way into a relationship. Instead, she remained committed, faithful, and steadfast. She followed the path God laid before her, and in due time, God guided Boaz directly to her. It wasn't coincidence, it wasn't luck. It was the hand of God working in perfect timing. That same God who arranged their meeting is also at work in your life today. But the enemy will try to stir anxiety within you. He'll whisper lies like, time is running out, everyone else has found their match and you're still alone. Don't believe it. The enemy is a liar. He wants you to react out of fear instead of trust. He wants you to settle for less than God's best for you. But here's the truth. When God is leading, you don't have to run after what's meant for you. You don't have to hold on to something He didn't send. What comes from the Lord will arrive at exactly the right moment, and no force can stop it. Sometimes we believe we're prepared, but God sees the areas in us that still need healing, wisdom, or spiritual growth. There are lessons we still must learn, wounds that need restoring, and faith that needs to deepen before we can carry the love He has ordained. A gift given too early can feel more like a burden than a blessing. But when God acts, He moves in wholeness. He brings the right person at the right time, and when He does, it's unmistakable. It comes with peace. It comes with clarity. Look at the way God has arranged creation. The stars in the sky, the changing seasons, the rising and setting of the sun, all moving in perfect rhythm. Nothing is hurried, nothing is random. If He takes such care with the cosmos, how much more will He oversee the timing of something as sacred as love? The issue is, we often count time by months and years, but God counts time by purpose. He doesn't follow our calendars. He moves according to His will, and when we place our trust in Him, we discover His ways are always best. So if you're still in the waiting, don't lose hope. If you're wondering when or how love will come, be encouraged. God has already written your story. He's not waiting for you to go searching. He's waiting for just the right moment to reveal the one He's already chosen for you. Keep your focus on Him. Continue walking in faith. Serve, grow, and believe that in His perfect time, God will connect you with the one He has lovingly prepared. Before God presents you to the person He has ordained for you, He prepares you. That preparation isn't punishment, it's divine process. It's His way of refining your heart, shaping your soul, and getting you ready for the love He intends to give. All too often, people rush into relationships without giving God the space to finish His transformative work within them. They go after love before pursuing healing. They long for companionship before seeking completeness. But a relationship without spiritual preparation is like building a house without a foundation. When life's storms come, it collapses. That is not what God desires for you. He wants to build something strong, something enduring, something grounded in Him. And in order for that to take shape, He needs to work on your heart before leading you to the one He has chosen for you to journey through life with. All throughout Scripture, we see examples of God preparing His people before divine moments unfold. Take Joseph as a clear example. He had powerful dreams of leadership and purpose, but before he ever stepped into the palace, he faced the pit, endured prison, and waited through long seasons. God wasn't holding back His promise. He was preparing Joseph to be able to handle the blessing with maturity. The same principle applies to relationships. If God seems to be taking His time before introducing you to your soulmate, it's because He is getting you ready to carry the love He's appointed for your life. Love isn't simply about meeting the right person. So many people long for a Christ-centered relationship, yet they aren't willing to let God do the inner work first. They yearn for love, yet still carry unhealed pain. They seek connection, but haven't cultivated the patience, humility, and sacrificial heart that love truly demands. God never intended for you to enter a relationship broken, expecting another human to repair what only He can heal. He wants you to step into that relationship whole, with the full understanding that only He can make you complete. No individual, no matter how wonderful, can take the place of what only God was created to fulfill. Consider David. Before he wore the crown, he was a humble shepherd. Before he was exalted, he was tested in solitude. In the same way, if you step into a relationship before God finishes His refining work in you, you may end up carrying burdens that were never meant for you. Waiting is not wasted time. It's a holy season of preparation. It's a time when God reveals more about who you are, who He is, and what real love looks like. During that time, He prunes what needs to go, strengthens your trust, and deepens your faith. He teaches patience because true love demands patience. He teaches trust because love relies on trust. 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 Ruth is a powerful example of someone who embraced preparation. After losing her husband, she didn't chase after another man. Instead, she chose to be faithful. She worked, she served, she remained obedient, and in God's perfect timing, Boaz noticed her. He didn't find her because she was pursuing love. He found her because she was honoring God with her life. God had been shaping her heart, and when the moment was right, He brought her together with the man he had chosen for her. The world around us says we need to hurry, settle, or take matters into our own hands. But God says, let me prepare you first. Because when he brings someone into your life, he will present you whole with strength, discernment, and a heart equipped to love as he designed. And when that time comes, you'll realize the wait wasn't a delay, it was a divine gift. In today's culture, many are obsessed with finding love as quickly as possible. People tirelessly search, hoping to force something to work, thinking that if they don't act now, they might miss their shot. But God doesn't move through panic. He moves through divine alignment. When God brings two people together, it's not out of urgency or pressure, but according to his perfect will. There is a significant difference between pursuing something on your own and receiving what he has planned for you. When love is forced, it is accompanied by anxiety, confusion, and uncertainty. But when it aligns with God's purpose, it brings peace, clarity, and true direction. Many people feel the need to rush into relationships because they fear being alone. They accept less than what God has for them because they believe waiting is too difficult. But settling is never the solution. God doesn't want you to enter a relationship out of fear of singleness. He desires for you to step into love with confidence, knowing that he has specifically prepared someone for you. God's blessings do not come through striving, but through surrender. When we trust his timing, we allow him to bring the right person into our lives at the perfect moment. The Bible recounts the story of Abraham's servant who was tasked with finding a wife for Isaac. Instead of acting on his own or making decisions without guidance, the servant prayed for God's direction. He didn't lean on his own understanding, but asked God to direct his path. In response, God led him to Rebekah. There was no confusion, no uncertainty, no manipulation, only a clear, divine connection. This is how God works when we let him take charge. He does not leave us lost in uncertainty. When we trust him fully, he leads us with clarity and purpose. One of the greatest risks in relationships is allowing emotions to guide our decisions instead of God's wisdom. Feelings can be misleading. What feels right in the moment may not align with God's will in the long term. The enemy often uses impatience to push us into relationships we were never meant to enter. He whispers lies, telling us, if you don't take this opportunity now, you may never find someone. But God does not lead through fear. He leads with peace. If a relationship forces you to compromise your values or causes anxiety instead of assurance, it may not be from him. When love is aligned with God's plan, there is no need for manipulation. You don't have to convince someone to recognize your worth. You don't have to force a connection that isn't meant to be. The right person, the one God has for you, will see you clearly because God will open their eyes at the right time. Look at Adam and Eve. Adam didn't search for Eve. God brought Eve to him when the time was right. There was no striving, no desperation, no need for chasing, only divine alignment. Sometimes God prevents certain relationships from forming because he knows they are not part of his plan. He closes doors not to hurt us, but to protect us. If a relationship ends or someone walks away, it may be because God is removing what was never meant for you. Rejection can sometimes be a form of divine redirection. Instead of mourning over what didn't work out, trust that God has something better planned. When you wait on him, you will never have to wonder if you made the right decision. He will make it clear to you. Waiting for divine alignment requires faith. It means trusting that God's way is higher than our own understanding. It involves letting go of control and allowing him to guide our steps. God is never in a rush, and neither should we be. When He brings two hearts together, it's for a purpose far greater than mere romance. It's for a calling, a mission, a testimony of His goodness. That kind of love is always worth waiting for. Love, according to God's design, isn't just about companionship or romance. It's about purpose. The relationships He ordains aren't merely for emotional fulfillment, but for a higher calling. When God brings your soulmate into your life, it's not just for your happiness, it's for His glory. He unites two people not only for them to love each other, but to serve Him together. A godly relationship isn't solely built on attraction or shared interests. It's based on a shared mission, shared faith, and a mutual desire to walk in His will. Too often, people enter relationships seeking only personal satisfaction, believing that love is simply about making them happy. But true God-ordained love is much deeper than that. It's about two people coming together to support one another, encourage one another in faith, and fulfill the purpose God has set for their lives. When God brings two people together, He does so with a reason beyond what they can understand. It's not simply about having a partner. It's about building something that stands as a testimony of His goodness. In Scripture, we see how God designed marriage with purpose. Adam was given a role before he was given a wife. He was tasked with tending to the Garden of Eden, walking with God, and fulfilling His mission. Then at the right time, God brought Eve to him, not just to be his companion, but to be his helper, his partner in the work He had assigned him. Eve wasn't an afterthought. She was always part of the plan. Together, they were meant to fulfill God's purpose. The same principle applies to relationships today. When God brings two people together, it's for a purpose far greater than themselves. Take Priscilla and Aquila in the New Testament. They were more than just husband and wife. They were partners in ministry. Together they spread the gospel, discipled others, and served the kingdom. Their relationship was not just about themselves, it was about fulfilling God's plan. When love is grounded in purpose, it is unshakable. It endures through trials because it's built on a solid foundation of faith and mission, not fleeting emotions. A relationship without purpose is fragile. When difficulties arise, when the excitement fades, when challenges appear, love that isn't rooted in something deeper will struggle to last. But love that is firmly anchored in God's purpose remains strong, because it's not dependent on circumstances. It's built on calling, not on personal desires, but on God's divine plan. This is why it's so vital to seek a relationship aligned with God's will. When both individuals are walking in their calling, when both are prioritizing God, their love is strengthened by a foundation that won't falter. Too many people chase relationships without considering if they align with their purpose. They may fall for someone based on emotions, attraction, or convenience, only to realize later that they are moving in different directions. But God doesn't want you to settle for just anyone. He desires for you to be with someone who will walk alongside you in faith, encourage your spiritual growth, and stand with you as you fulfill His calling on your life. The enemy wants people to accept relationships that divert them from God's purpose. He seeks to make them compromise, to choose comfort over calling, to prioritize personal happiness above divine purpose. However, God's design for love is entirely different. It is meant to build up, not tear down, to strengthen, not weaken, to draw both people closer to Him, not push them apart. The right relationship will guide you toward God, not away from Him. It will inspire you to become your best self, grow deeper in your faith, and serve with more passion. Finding the right person isn't just about being compatible, it's about alignment. Are you both passionately pursuing God? Are you both committed to His calling? Are you both ready to build something that lasts beyond this life? These are the questions that truly matter. Love rooted in purpose is steadfast. It stands firm, grows stronger over time, and fulfills a calling that is bigger than either individual. When God connects you with your soulmate, it's not just for your happiness. It's for His kingdom. Friends, love is not a game of chance. It's not something we must chase, manipulate, or fear we'll miss. It's something God has already written into the narrative of our lives. When He introduces you to your soulmate, it won't be by accident. It will be by divine appointment. His timing is flawless. His preparation is deliberate. His alignment is unmistakable. And His purpose surpasses anything we can fathom. So do not grow weary while waiting. Do not settle for anything less than what God has ordained. Instead, seek Him first. Trust that He is preparing you, even when you can't see it. Remember, when love comes from God, it doesn't bring confusion. It brings clarity. Not desperation, but peace. The one He has for you will not just be a companion in life, but a partner in faith, a partner in purpose, and a partner in a love story written by the Creator Himself. Stand firm in your faith. Walk in obedience. And when the time is right, you'll see that God's plan for love is always far greater than anything we could have imagined. If you trust Him, if you follow Him, if you surrender to His will, He will not just bring you a soulmate, He will bring you a love that honors Him and endures the test of time. We are not overcome by them. Waiting on the Lord does not mean passivity. It means intentionally seeking Him, believing in His promises, and holding fast to faith, even when answers are delayed. Sometimes the hardship lingers longer than we anticipated. Sometimes the response to our prayers looks different from what we envisioned. Yet in all circumstances, God remains faithful. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego understood this truth deeply. When threatened with a blazing furnace, they had a choice: worship a false idol or face the flames. Their answer reflected absolute trust. They declared, "Our God, whom we serve, is able to rescue us from the burning fiery furnace, and He will deliver us from your hand, O King. But even if He does not, let it be known, O King, that we will not serve your God." They had no doubt about God's power to save, yet they were prepared to remain faithful even if He chose not to intervene. And God did not abandon them. He didn't prevent them from entering the fire. Instead, He walked through it with them. The flames did not harm them, and they emerged untouched. This is the strength that comes through prayer. A deep-rooted confidence that God is with us in every situation. Whether He removes us from the trial or strengthens us to endure it, His power will never fail. Prayer number 4. Prayers for God's will to be done. One of the most significant prayers a believer can offer is a prayer for God's will. It is a prayer marked by surrender, filled with trust, and grounded in faith. It mirrors the very words Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. "Not my will, but yours be done." This prayer is not always comfortable. Human nature craves control, clarity, and comfort. Yet when we ask for God's will, we are placing all things, our desires, plans, and timelines, into His sovereign hands. We are declaring that His purposes are better, His ways higher, and His understanding far beyond our own. From the very beginning of time, God has had a flawless plan for humanity. He formed Adam and Eve to live in harmony with Him, to walk closely with Him, and to experience His goodness. But when sin entered the picture, mankind's will turned inward towards selfishness and away from God. The Bible makes it clear that each person has wandered from the path, choosing their own way. Yet God, in His unfailing love, provided a way for us to return to Him. Through Jesus Christ, we are welcome to live according to His will, to walk in His divine purpose, and to pursue His plans above our own. One of the greatest challenges in the Christian journey is learning to yield to God's will. There are seasons when His desires don't match ours, when His direction feels difficult, or when His plan leads us through waiting, trials, or hardship. But Scripture affirms this truth: God's will is always good, always flawless, and always just. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God." The world tells us to chase our own dreams, to follow our emotions, and to seek satisfaction through self. But God calls us to something far more meaningful: to align ourselves with His greater purpose. Throughout the Bible, we see stories of those who sought the will of God and others who resisted it. One of the most inspiring examples of surrendering to God's will is found in Mary, the mother of Jesus. When the angel announced to her that she would carry the Son of God, she had every reason to be frightened. She was young, unmarried, and knew her yes to God could bring misunderstanding, rejection, and hardship. Yet instead of resisting, she responded with humility. "Behold, the maidservant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." She yielded to God's plan, believing it was greater than any fear or uncertainty she faced. Conversely, we see individuals like Jonah who resisted God's instructions. Jonah was called to go to Nineveh and deliver a message of repentance, but he refused and fled in the opposite direction, trying to escape the Lord's presence. But no one can outrun the will of God. Violent storm arose, and Jonah was swallowed by a great fish, where he remained for 3 days and nights. In that dark place, Jonah finally surrendered and called out to God, acknowledging His authority. When he was set free, he obeyed the original command, and the people of Nineveh turned from their ways, and God showed them compassion. Jonah's story teaches us that resisting God's will only brings unnecessary turmoil. It is always better to trust and follow, even when we can't fully comprehend His plan. Proverbs 3:5-6 instructs us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." To trust God's will is to let go of our limited perspective, to believe that He sees what we cannot, and to rest in the assurance that He is working all things for our ultimate good. Jesus set the highest example of surrender. In the Garden of Gethsemane, as He faced the cross, He prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Though He felt the full weight of what was coming, the pain, the sorrow, the sacrifice, He did not fight the Father's plan. He yielded, knowing that